start to twist it out and into our hips as well as our back. So it's just a full body twist. This is actually a move from Kundalini yoga. It's called a Kriya. It's a mini flow. You can even close your eyes here if that feels good. You can see how I'm maybe rotating my feet. So my toes dip down when I turn, my heel lifts off the ground, and my hips rotate fully. Now you don't want to strain your knees here, so have soft bent knees the entire time. You're not trying to twist into the joint. That's why I'm also rotating my foot. And relax your gaze down towards the ground if that feels good, or maybe close your eyes if you don't get dizzy. Just take a couple deep breaths into your belly. Exhale out your mouth. Take another deep breath in. Exhale out. Nice big sighs here to start us off. Big breath in. Exhale out your mouth. Make a ha sound. All right, now take one more big twist. Pause on your right side. So it's almost like you're winding up to throw something, but your arms are wrapped around yourself. Maybe your right hand tucks behind you. Take a deep breath in and see if you can extend through your torso here. This is a light stretch for our hip flexor, lifting up through your trunk, your torso, your chest, and maybe lift your chin to the sky. You might feel a slight pull here depending on how open you are already. Exhale, switch sides. Again, rotating onto your toes, your back toes here as you rotate. Now, if your left knee starts to feel tension, just rotate your left foot so it faces forward as you twist. Again, lift up, lengthen through your torso. Maybe imagine a string drawing your head all the way up to the sky. Big breath in. Exhale, let it go. Give it a little shake. All right, go ahead and rotate sideways on your mat so you're facing the top of your mat if you aren't already. Inhale, flow your arms up to the sky. Take a big breath here. Exhale, widen your feet so they're a little bit wider than hip width distance. Shift your hips back as you fold forward. Slight bend your knees here, or a deep bend depending on how tight you are in your hamstrings. Take a big breath in, hands to your shins. Exhale, open your mouth, flop your arms. You can nod your head, yes. Shake it, no. We're going to do that a few more times. So inhale, hands to your shins or maybe your hips. Big breath in. Exhale, noodle your body out. It's like overcooked pasta here. This is kind of the visual. Inhale, hands to your shins, flat back. Big breath in. Exhale, little spaghettis. Take another deep breath in, pause here. Exhale. All right, good. Stay down here at the ground. Now, again, if you are feeling really tight in your back and you can't reach the floor, that's okay. Just keep your hands supported somewhere. So maybe on your shins, you can bring them up to your hip creases and just bend your knees really deeply here. That will help support you. So take a deep breath in wherever you are. Now exhale, if you have your hands supported on your shins, you can just press your left hand into your left shin and twist your right arm up to the sky. If you have them down on the ground, plant your left hand into the mat, bending your left knee. So when you have your hands on the ground, make sure to bend your left knee. It helps you open up a little bit deeper. If you have your hands supported on your shin, you can do a slight bend here, but again, your rotation will be just a little bit less deep. There's no better answer. They're both great. So take a deep breath in. Exhale, switch sides. So same thing, other side. If you had your hand on your shin, keep it there. If you had it on the ground, again, bend your right knee as you twist. Big breath into your belly. Exhale out your mouth. Nice, release it down. Now wrap your arms around yourself here. So you can find a little bit of a hug sensation. You can bring your hands as far as you can towards each other on your shoulders without hunching your shoulders up to your ears. So keep your shoulder blades down your back. Now bend your knees. You're going to find yourself in a little ball. Now I have really sensitive knees from some previous injuries. So this is as far as I'm going to go, around 90, slightly, maybe even above 90. If you want to do a full Malasana squat, you can bring your hips where they're below your knees, like I'm demoing briefly here, but you'll keep your hands in a ball. So listen to your body here. You can also just stay kind of at a halfway point. It's not really about how low you can go. You're just finding a little bit of a hug shape. Now you might notice that your Achilles is a little tight, the back of your shins, maybe your feet are feeling tight, so you can spread your toes nice and wide. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release the ball, straightening your legs, let your arms hang. Slowly walk it out. You can find a full plank pose here, bringing your hips and your shoulders in line with each other, or if you want to go for a slightly more restful version, you can lower your knees down to the mat. Take a deep breath here. Exhale, shift your hips back, downward facing dog. Whew. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, everybody lower your knees down to the mat, find child's pose. We're just going to take a quiet moment here, set an intention for the rest of our movement today. So bring your forehead down towards your mat or towards your chest, whatever feels available to you. Take a deep breath into your belly. Exhale out your mouth. Now, maybe your intention is just to feel good in your body. I'm here for it. Maybe you have a specific area of your body you're hoping to release tension in. Or maybe it's more of something that's mindful or spiritual in your practice today. Whatever it is for you, just take a moment in silence, honor that in your heart. And then bring your attention back to your hands where they're melting into the mat, that solidity, that support of the ground. Press your weight into them, rising into your hands and your knees. Take a deep breath into your belly, dip your belly down, lifting your heart forward, your chest up. Exhale, come back to a neutral spine. So we're going to do a similar version to what we did standing, but taking it a little bit deeper. So inhale, float your right arm up. Exhale, thread the needle. So right arm goes all the way underneath your left armpit. Back of your head comes to your mat. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale out your mouth. So we're getting into our shoulders, our upper back. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, press in your left hand, come back to center. Other side. Inhale, left arm up to the sky. Exhale, reach underneath. Whew. Melt your back of your head down to the mat. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out your mouth. Nice, come back to center. We'll start to wiggle our body. So coming back to our spaghetti metaphor here, overcooked noodles, start to undulate your spine. So that might look like twisting, so you look over your left shoulder or maybe down at your left hand. And then exhale, shifting your hips as you look over your right shoulder. So there's no real right way to do this. This is not a specific yoga pose. This is just mindful movement here. So see if you can pay attention to your body. Notice like, ooh, there's some tension there. I'm going to breathe into it, expand that area, and then maybe rotate to the other side. So we'll take a couple breaths here. Just play around with how you're feeling today. And if you round your upper back, you can send the attention and intention of movement into your low back a little bit more and mid back. So play around here, rounding your spine, pressing your hips back. Then inhale, come back to neutral. This time, exhale, swivel your hips down towards your feet, your heels. Maybe you graze them, maybe you don't. Lift back up to center. Let's do one more of those, this side. So it's almost like you're going to go into a child's pose. You're just rotating on your shins. Switch sides. Ooh, back to center. Last one. Press your hips back. And back to center. Nice. Now this time, go ahead and find a seat. We'll do some more manipulations with our hips and our low backs. So step your feet nice and wide here. I'll rotate so you can see. So feet nice and wide. Place your hands behind you, fingertips pointing towards your hips. So a little support here. If it feels better on your wrists, you can point your hands outwards. Just be mindful when we transition later, so you don't want to strain your wrists. So feet nice and wide here. You have support. Shift your hips over towards your left. So now your knees kind of collapse down towards the ground. It's okay if they don't touch the ground. That's not the point. It's just to rotate in your spine. Rotate your hips down towards the right. Exhale, left. So again, getting into that mini flow, that Kriya here today with this hip mobility movement. Let's do a couple more times here and add on. Now inhale, flip your knees over to the left, stay here. Option to stay here. You can also add in, if you have like a pillow nearby for a little bit of support. Sometimes I like to do that, especially if I'm somehow off of my mat. You can place the pillow underneath your right knee for a little bit of extra support here. Then press into your left hand, lift your right arm up to the sky so you can lift up out of your hip. So we're straightening the right top half of our thigh, or the right thigh, I guess. Right top half of our leg, right arm goes overhead. Exhale, lower your hips back down. Nice. Again, you can just stay here in this twist, lifting your arm up, keeping your hips supported. That feels better on your joints and your body. We'll do that one more time if you're following along. Exhale, squeeze into your glutes to press your hips up to the sky. So it's not about straining your back, it's about pressing through your glutes. Engage your core, see that your elbows tucked in towards you, towards your left. Exhale, lower your hips back down. Ooh. Go ahead and switch sides. If you have a pillow for support, maybe you bunched up your mat. Switch sides, so it's underneath your left foot. Press your weight into your right hand. Again, squeeze, activating your left glute to reach up. So you're pressing your hips up forward, arm goes up overhead. So we're really getting deep stretches into our psoas today, which also helps release our low back. It's all connected. So take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower your hips back down. Now you might notice you can go a little bit further on one side rather than the other. For me, that's the left side. I can extend a little bit higher and it also feels tighter. So just notice that about your body as you move into the second round. Again, you can skip this extension or modify. Exhale, lower your hips back down. Whew. Nice. You can remove any support that you have. Come back to your feet planted in the mat. Take a deep breath in, shift your hands forwards, palms facing towards each other. Exhale, over halfway, pause here. Now bring your hands behind you. This time really make sure that your fingertips are pointing towards your hips. Squeeze your elbows together. Shoulder blades down your back. Lift up out of your chest. So this is option number one. You can just stay here. This is a little bit of an upward back bend and release for your low back. You also might feel your arms activate. A little bit of an arm workout. Option to stay here, or you can press firmly into your feet, shifting your hips up to the sky. So this is our last hip extension. Exhale, slowly lower back down. Now, when you press up, see if you can get your knees to stack on top of your ankles here so that you're not stressing out your knee joints. Again, start by squeezing your elbows together, lift up out of your chest. You can stay here. If you want to add on, press into your heels, lift your seat up. Squeeze your belly. Exhale, slowly lower. Whew. Go ahead and counter pose. Oops. Too funny. Throw your candles everywhere. Wrap your arms around your shins. Bow your head. So tuck your chin all the way into your chest here. Great release for the back of our necks. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. We're going to cross your ankles, or you can shift your hips to the side. We're going to make our way to tabletop. When I first started doing yoga and I saw people like roll with the ankles like that, I was like, you're crazy. And now I do it. It's amazing how things change in our body when we continue to do different types of movements. Okay, so finding your tabletop, we're going to start to stretch out our feet as requested. So tuck your toes in here. And I'll show you a modification if you have sensitive knees or your feet just can't handle it. So if you sit back here and you feel a lot of pressure on your knees, like I'm feeling right now, again, you can place a pillow under your knees, or you can choose to do this kneeling. or both. And then if you try this kneeling, just lean your hips back. So your center of gravity is now over your shins or even your ankles. You'll start to activate your thighs. Your quads here will light up. This will be a little bit more active than the passive stretch if you are seated on your heels. So you choose what feels good in your body. And if neither feel good, that's okay. Come to tabletop. And you're gonna just walk your hands closer towards your knees and press actively into your toes. You can get a little bit of a stretch there too. Take a deep breath in. This one is always kind of intense for me. I don't know if you're feeling that too. Take another deep breath into your belly. Exhale out your mouth. Come to tabletop. Tap out the tops of your feet. All those tiny muscles in our feet. We'll do that one more time. So tuck your toes, lean back. Again, variations. You can have your hands on your hips, hips on your heels. You can be kneeling, hands on hips, leaning back, or you can be in your tabletop, just actively pressing back and forth into your toes. So you choose your version. Breathing deeply. Exhaling completely. Take one more deep breath in. You got this. It's burning for me. Exhale, let it go. Find your tabletop, tap out your feet. Sweet release. All right, press into your hands, tuck your toes once more. Hips go up to the sky, bent knee, downward facing dog. So see if you can scoop your elbows in towards your face, shrug your shoulder blades down your back, keep your knees bent. Walk your hands back towards your feet. You can find a cradle this time, maybe interlacing your wrists in your elbows, creating a little bit of a swing here. Still keep a slight bend in your knees unless you're really open. Nod your head yes, shake it no. Take another deep breath in, bend your knees, slowly release your hands as you stack your spine. See if you can take as long as possible here. Just unfurling our vertebrae, shrug your shoulder blades down your back. Inhale, float your arms up. Exhale, dive forward. So coming back to how we started class, just working on our spine here. Inhale, slowly bend your knees, chin to your chest, stacking your spine. Inhale, float your hands. Let's do one more of those. Take your own pace here. Bend at your waist and then slowly stack back up. Use your inhale to float your arms up to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Whew. Nice. We'll do a little finishing balance pose before we end back down on the floor. So zombie arms out in front of you, very technical yoga term here. Cross your right elbow inside your left. So you're making a little X with your hands here. Option to stay here. So if you don't feel like challenging your balance today, but you want a shoulder opener, you can just stay here, shrug your shoulder blades down your back, tuck your belly in, slight bend of your knees so your spine is nice and straight. So option to just stay here. If you want to add on the balance challenge, shift your weight to your right foot. Slowly pick up your left toes, or your left heel, and then your left toes, and cross your left leg over your right. You can always find a kickstand here, like I just did. So I started to wobble, press your left toes down on the opposite side of your right foot. So you can actually even stay there if you want, and then kind of play with the balance, like, ooh, I'm wobbling again, you know, find your kickstand. Or if you want, you can sit a little bit lower, stacking your knees on top of each other, or if you need more space for your hips, you can press your left ankle on top of your right knee. So a couple of variations here. You can also just find tree pose if that feels better for you. So tree pose, just bringing your foot to your calf, or maybe up above your knee. So lots of variations. You pick what feels good in your body. I'm going to do a figure four here, get into my hips a little bit. Now with your arms, if you want to add on a little challenge, see if you can bring your elbows up to meet the height of your shoulders. So we tend to have them resting on our chest. See if you can lift them up to rest at the same height as your shoulders, and you'll feel it more in your back. Ooh, let's shake it out. That was a long hold. Let it go. You can shrug your shoulders up to your ears. So this is a really great exercise for your body, actually, even if you do this throughout the day, where maybe you're sitting at your computer in one position, just stand up and shake it up. It really helps release the tension. All right, zombie arms again, let's even out. This time, instead of right inside left, left elbow inside right, again, making that nice X. Notice how I'm intentionally not saying to close the bind here. This is actually a little bit more functional for your shoulders if you keep your hands open, because you can feel that tension here. Most people, when they find the bind, they round forwards and then you kind of lose the whole point. But if you want to do the bind, it's your practice. Go ahead and bend into your left knee, pressing your weight into your left foot. Maybe float your right toes. Maybe you just stay here. So if you didn't do the balance on the other side, that's okay. We're not always even. If you want to try it out, go for it. Or you can stay standing. If you want to add the balance, lift up your right heel, bend your left knee for support, slowly cross your legs. Again, you can immediately find that kickstand. I almost always do. It helps recenter. And then if you want, you can again find figure 4. If you're in this version with your legs, make sure to flex your right foot here. So you don't have a floppy noodle foot this time, you don't have a flexed active foot, so that will help protect your knee joint. Then you've got options. You can stay in your kickstand, you can find your figure 4 angle across the top of your left thigh, or you can stack your knees for more of a traditional eagle pose. Once you find your balance, you can keep playing. You can change to tree pose if you want. See if you can bring your elbows up to your shoulders again. So we're just creating tension here, but see if you can keep your shoulders down your back. Ooh, it's like patting your head and rubbing your stomach. Squeeze your belly, squeeze your core. If you need to take breaks, that's okay. My calves always light up in this pose as well. So take a deep breath in, come back to your intention for practice. Let that be your North Star. Exhale out and release. Ooh, noodle it out. Let it go. And float your lips. Let's take a full bow forward. So inhale, float your hands up. Exhale, hinge at your waist, hold. Now slowly go ahead and find a seat on your mat. Cross your ankles. We'll just end with a couple twists, easy twists, and we'll send you off. So inhale, float your arms up to the sky. Exhale, part your hands gently. Ooh, sorry, plant. Opposite towards your, on the side of your right leg. There we go. Planting your right hand into your mat, the ground, lift your heart. Exhale, float your arms to the other side, easy twist left. You can anchor your right hand on the outside of your left leg. Big breath in. Exhale, release, come back to center. Gently bring your hands to your heart center if you want to, or you can press your hands into your thighs for grounding. Whatever feels good today. Take a deep breath into your belly, honoring the fact that you showed up for yourself and moved. Exhale out your mouth, just like the start of class. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, belly. Exhale, really sigh it out, get nice and loud. Inhale here. Exhale, let it go. Take a moment, honor yourself. Maybe say thank you to your body. And let it go. Namaste.